The lipstick on the glass is redder than my bleeding heart tonight. I'm pacing through the kitchen in the pale and ghostly morning light. You left your heavy scent upon the pillow where your head once lay, a bittersweet reminder of the words we didn't have the strength to say. And now I'm drowning in the silence of a house that's far too wide. I'm pouring out the gin because the water tastes like dusty copper coins. The rhythm of the rain is knocking where the brick and mortar joins. You said I was a tempest, just a girl who couldn't keep her footing straight. But you're the one who bolted when you saw the swinging iron gate, leaving me to bargain with the shadows creeping up the floral wall. The jazz is spinning slow and low, a scratchy ghost upon the black shellac. I'm wondering if you're sleeping or if you're ever coming crawling back. My eyeliner is smudging into maps of places where we used to hide, before the ego and the liquor took us for a long and bumpy ride. I'm just a fool in beehive hair waiting for a knock that never comes. You promised me the moon but only gave me craters and the dark of space. I see your jagged profile in every single stranger's passing face. The neighbors hear me shouting at the television through the floor. I'm slamming every cabinet and I'm kicking at the heavy bedroom door, just to feel a little friction in a world that's turned to freezing ice. I've got a stack of letters that I folded into tiny paper planes. I'm watching them descend into the gutters and the city drains. You were my favorite record, but the needle's gone and worn you down. Now I'm the saddest girl wearing a crooked and a rusted crown, drinking to the memory of a boy who didn't know his own damn mind. My mother says I'm tragic and my father says I need a little rest, but they don't know the way your name is burning holes inside my chest. It's a specific kind of torture, like a slow and steady dripping tide. Fell into your arms and found myself caught in a velvet trap. And I'd do it all again just to hear you whisper something sweet and lies. So here's to all the nights we spent vibrating on a different plane of soul, before the cracks began to show and we finally lost our self-control. The sun is coming up, but it's a gray and dirty shade of London sky. I'm gonna close the curtains and I'm gonna give the blues a try. until the velvet residue of us is nothing but a puff of chimney smoke. The pub is closing down and I'm standing in the puddles on the street. The gravel in my voice is matching all the concrete neath my tired feet. You were the king of chalk farm with a swagger and a rolling gait, but you turned into a ghost and left me standing by the canal gate, wondering why the stars look like they're nothing more than cheap debris. I wore my shortest skirt and put the flowers in my messy tangled hair, just to walk past your apartment and to pretend that I didn't care. But the light was off and I could feel the coldness of the window pane. I'm shivering in the wind and I'm cursing at the coming winter rain, because you're probably warm inside with someone who is bored and thin. Love is just a game of billiards where the balls are made of heavy lead. I'm replaying every single stupid wicked thing that you ever said. You called me baby like it was a weapon or a sharpened kitchen knife. You were the greatest love and the greatest bird of my messy life. Now I'm just a silhouette against the brickwork of the holy arm. Until the soles were coming off our leather shoes. Two tragic little hipsters singing out the rhythm of the rhythm blues. You tasted like tobacco and the peppermint you chewed to hide the smell. We were a match made in a very stylish and a very crowded hell. Happy just to burn as long as you were standing in the flame. Oh, mascara is a river and mine's flowing down into my double chin. I'm thinking about the trouble and the beautiful and the holy sin. You're a habit I can't break no matter how many times I try to quit. I'm staring into my cigarette and I'm waiting for the spark to light it, while the Camden dust is settling on the shoulders of my vintage coat. There's a hole in my fishnets and a bigger one inside my heavy heart. I knew from the beginning we were destined just to drift and fall apart. You're a melody I can't quite whistle and a poem I can't read aloud. Just a flash of silver lining on a very dark and very heavy cloud. And I'm the girl who's chasing after storms because I like the thunder. Ooh, so walk away my darling, let the shadows swallow up your lanky frame. up and I'll pretend I don't remember where I've been. But tonight I'm just a victim of the jazz and the tonic and the gin, buried underneath the Camden dust and waiting for the morning. I pinned a white gardenia in my hair, but now the petals turn to brown. I'm the talk of every dive bar and the laughing stock of all the town. You said my love was suffocating like a blanket made of heavy wool, but you're the one who played me like a frantic and a desperate fool, leaving me to pick the thorns out of my palms in the middle of the night. The radio is playing something tinny and it's driving me quite mad, reminding me of all the little flickers of the joy that we once had. You had a way of looking at me like I was a rare and precious thing, before you pulled the stone out of the gold and the silver of my ring, and left me with a circle of a metal that is turning my finger green. I'm sitting on the fire escape and watching all the pigeons fly away, wishing I could find a single reason or a clever word to make you stay. But you're a rolling stone and I am just a patch of tired, dusty moss, calculating all the profit and the heavy and the stinging sense of loss, while the city hums a tune that doesn't have a single note of grace. You were a bad idea, wrapped up in a very handsome and a tailored suit, and now I'm tasting all the poison of the forbidden and the rotten fruit. I gave you every secret and I gave you every ounce of my poor pride, but you just took the keys and went for a very long and a selfish ride, leaving me to walk the miles back home in shoes that really hurt my toes. My eyes are red and puffy, but I'm putting on a very brave and bold face. I'm cleaning up the kitchen and I'm putting every saucer back in place, but the silence is a scream that I can't muffle with a pillow or a drink. I'm standing on the edge and I am trying very hard not to ever blink, lest I see the image of you laughing with the girl who isn't me at all. There's a bitterness inside me that no amount of sugar can never fix. I'm tired of the games and all the dirty and the low and the petty tricks. You haunt the hallway like a draft that's coming through a broken door. I'm finding locks of your dark hair upon the rug and on the wooden floor, and every time I sweep them up I feel a little more of me just die. So take your bitter gardenia and throw it in the trash along with us. I'm not gonna make a scene and I am not gonna kick up a giant fuss. I'll just sit here with my records and I'll let the brass section wail. Because a love like ours was always meant to eventually and surely fail, leaving nothing but a scent of flowers rotting in the heavy humid air. For ink and agony, I got your name tattooed in cursive right across the hollow of my wrist. A permanent reminder of the way that we first stumbled and we kissed. But now the ink is blurred and it is looking like a dark and ugly stain, a physical manifestation of the mental and the soul-crushing pain that you left behind when you decided that you'd had enough for me. The tea is getting cold and there's a film across the surface of the cup. I'm waiting for the courage or the strength to finally and simply give up. You were a beautiful disaster and a song that ended far too soon. I'm howling like a mangy dog at the brightness of the afternoon moon, thinking about the way it tasted like expensive scotch and cheap lies. I see you in the steam that's rising from the manholes in the dirty street. I hear your heartbeat in the rhythm of the heavy and the steady drum beat. You were a masterpiece of wreckage and I was the girl who loved a mess. I put on my best behavior and I put on my very favorite polka dot dress, just to have you tear it off and tell me that I was a bore and a chore. Closing in and they are painted in a shade of sickly blue. I'm trying to remember what it felt like before I ever met a man like you. I was a girl with big ambitions and a voice that reached up to the sky. But now I'm just a broken wing that's far too heavy and too wet to fly, surrounded by the weight of every promise that you broke without a thought. I'm burning all the photographs because I can't stand to see your smiling eyes. I'm sick of all the maybe laters and the honey please and all the whys. You were a hurricane of trouble and I was a house made of playing cards. I'm just a pile of rubble scattered through the alleys and the yards, looking for a piece of me that hasn't been stepped on or kicked aside. The ink is deep and permanent and it is never gonna fade or go away. It's gonna tell the story of my foolishness until my very dying day. I'm a canvas of regret and you're the artist with the shaky, cruel hand. You built a castle out of nothing but the shifting and the sinking sand. And you didn't even blink when the tide came in and swept it all to sea. I'll keep the bandage on it for a week or maybe for a month or two, until I can look down and not be instantly reminded of a ghost like you. I'll find a different rhythm and I'll find a different kind of song to sing, one that doesn't mention you or any other is like a shot of cherry liquor, sweet and burning down my throat. I'm losing my composure and I'm losing the buttons on my winter coat. You got that look in your eye that says you're gonna stay for just a while, before you disappear again and leave me with a sad and a crooked smile, and a hangover that lasts for 7 days and 7 very long nights. The neon sign is flickering outside the window of our favorite little bar. I'm wondering if you're out there, or if you've gone and wandered far. You're a habit and a hobby and a very dangerous and a dark addiction. Our love is a biography that's written as a very strange piece of fiction, where the hero is a villain and the heroine is always crying in her sleep. I'm playing with the cord of the telephone and waiting for a ring. I'm ready to forgive you for every single meaning, every nasty thing, because when you touch my neck, I forget the way you treat me like a dog. I'm lost inside your shadow and I'm lost inside a thick and a heavy fog, and I don't wanna find a way out if it means I have to be alone. You smell like rainy pavements and the smoke of 1,000 French cigars. You're the only thing I see when I am looking at the cold and distant stars. But you're as fickle as the weather and you're as sharp as a broken glass. I'm watching all the happy couples as they giggle and they slowly pass, and I'm wondering if they know that love is just a trap for the very weak. I've got the record player on and I am singing to the empty kitchen chairs. I'm ignoring all the bills and I am ignoring all the heavy worldly cares, just to dwell upon the way you move and the way you say my name so low. I'm a girl who's got a lot of fire, but I got nowhere left for it to go. So I'll just let it burn me up until there's nothing left but ash and bone. The cherry liquor's gone and now the bottle is a hollow and a glass shell. I'm a long way from heaven and I'm a short walk from a very private hell. You're the king of my heart, but your kingdom is a ruin and a total wreck. I've got the weight of all your failures hanging like a millstone round my neck, and yet I'm still the one who's calling out for you in the dead of the night. So come on back and break me one more time before the sun begins to rise. I'm ready for the insults and I'm ready for the beautiful and the blue lies. I'll be your favorite victim and I'll be your very favorite place to hide, until the cherry liquor runs out and there's nowhere left for us to slide down into the gutter where we both belong and where we both feel at home. The grass is growing over all the places where we used to lay our heads. The memories are tangling like the dirty and the unmade cotton threads. You went back to her and I went back to the only thing I truly know. To the darkness and the shadows where the heavy and the bitter flowers grow. And the sun is just a rumor that I heard from someone passing on the street. I'm wearing black again because it matches the color of my hollowed soul. I'm trying to be steady, but I'm losing all my sense of self and control. You were the only light I had, and now the bulb is gone and flickered out, leaving me with nothing but the silence and the heavy and the dark doubt that I was ever anything more than a distraction from your own boring life. The rhythm of my breathing is a slow and a very melancholy funeral march. I'm walking through the city and I'm passing under every stone and arch, looking for a trace of us in the graffiti and the cracks upon the wall. But there's nothing left but ghosts and the echoes of a very long and a hard fall, and the sound of my own heels clicking on the cold and the wet pavement. You had a way of making me feel like I was a queen upon a golden throne. But now I'm just a beggar and I'm shivering and I am all and utterly alone. You took the warmth with you and you left me with the damp and the cold. I'm feeling very tired and I'm feeling very gray and very, very old, even though the calendar says I've still got many years left to endure. I'm drinking from the bottle because a glass is just too much work to find. I'm trying to erase every single image of you from my feverish mind, but you're a permanent fixture, like a stain upon a very expensive rug. I'm waiting for the feeling and I'm waiting for the comfort of a hug that I know is never coming from a man who has already moved on away. I'm a walking disaster and I'm a girl who has completely lost her goal. The jazz is playing softly, but it sounds like a scream inside my aching ears. I'm drowning in the reservoir of all my many and my very salty tears, and I'm wondering how much longer I can keep this heavy heart beating on. So go ahead and love her and forget about the girl you left in the dark. I'll stay here in the shadows and I'll wait for a single and a tiny spark. But I know that I'm just waiting for a train that is never gonna arrive. I'm just a ghost in a beehive hair who is barely and only just alive, walking back to black until the darkness finally decides to swallow me whole. I used to think that love was something like a movie or a glossy magazine, a technicolor dream where everything was bright and beautiful and clean. But then I met a man like you, and I learned the truth about the dirty game. How it burns you to a cinder, how it leaves you with a heavy sense of shame, and how the ending isn't happy and the credits never ever start to roll. I'm sitting in the laundromat and watching all my clothes go round and round. Listen to the hum and the steady and the very riff and thumping sound. It's the same way that my head is spinning when I think about your crooked face. The way you move through my life with a total lack of any kind of grace, and how I let you stay even when I knew that you were nothing but a thief. Yeah. The penny finally dropped and it made a very loud and a very metallic clatter. I realized that to you my heart was just a thing that didn't really matter. You were looking for a soft place to land and a girl to pay all your bills. You were looking for a fix, and you were looking for a variety of cheap thrills, yeah. And I was just a fool who was willing to provide you with everything you needed. Cheap detergent soap, trying to find a way to weave together a new and a much stronger rope, one that I can use to climb out of the hole that you dug for me to fall in. I'm finished with the suffering and I'm finished with the beautiful and the sin, or at least that's what I tell myself as I'm walking back to our empty flat. Full of honey and a fake regret, trying to make me forget the things that I am never gonna truly forget. Oh, you'll tell me that you've changed and that you've finally seen the golden light, but I know that you're just lonely and you're looking for a place to stay the night. And I'm the only one who's stupid enough to answer the phone when it rings. And punched a few too many times. It only plays the sad songs, and it only speaks in very dark and rhythmic rhymes. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm seeing a girl I don't quite recognize anymore. Someone who is weary and someone who is feeling very, very bruised and sore. But the penny is dropped and I'm finally seeing you for exactly what you are. Yeah. scratch that skips on every single beat. It's like the way my heart stutters whenever I see you walking down the street. We're a flawed recording of a melody that was once so very sweet and clear, but now it's just a distorted mess that I can barely stand to even hear. A collection of vinyl scars that we've gathered over all these long, hard years. You were the B-side of a single that I played until the grooves were worn away. I didn't care about the hits or anything the critics had to ever really say. I just wanted the raw sound and the feeling of your voice against my naked skin. I wanted to get lost inside the rhythm and the beautiful and the holy sin. But the needle's blunt now and the music's turning into a high-pitched one. I'm dusting off the covers of the jazz albums that we bought in Berwick Street, remembering the way we felt when the world was lying right beneath our feet. We were gonna be the greatest thing that London had ever seen or ever known. But now I'm just sitting here in the dark and I am utterly and entirely alone, watching the dust motes dance in the light of a single and a flickering candle. Your love was like a high-fidelity dream that turned into a lo-fi nightmare. I'm finding strands of your memory caught inside the tangles of my messy hair. You left a mark on me that no amount of scrubbing is ever gonna wash away. I'm a haunted house and I am a girl who has absolutely nothing left to say, except for the lyrics of a song that we both forgot the chords too long ago. I'm pouring out a glass of wine and I'm watching the red liquid stain the floor. I'm waiting for the sound of your key turning in the lock of the heavy front door. But I know that you found a new turntable and a new and a much shinier desk. You were never one for the commitment or for taking any kind of emotional risk. You just wanted a soundtrack for your own selfish and your very lonely parade. Oh, the room is spinning round just like the black plastic on the spinning platter. And I am realizing that all of our promises don't really seem to even matter. We're just a couple of scratches on a piece of history that's being thrown out. I'm filled with a very heavy and a very dark and a very suffocating doubt that I will ever find a melody that doesn't sound like a broken and a dying bird. Oh, so turn the volume down and let the silence settle in the corners of the room. I'm getting ready for the darkness and I'm getting ready for the coming doom. I'll keep my vinyl scars and I'll wear them like a badge of a very deep honor. I'm a girl who loved too much and now I'm just a ghost and I am a goner, lost in the hiss and the pop of a love that's finally and truly reached the end. combination, like a lit match in a room full of gasoline. The most volatile and the most beautiful thing that I have ever truly seen. One look from you and I'm ready to explode into a million little sparks. I'm a girl who's got a lot of light, but I'm also full of very heavy darks. And you're the only one who knows how to trigger the fire and the flame. The air smells like the juniper of the gin and the exhaust of your old car. I'm following you down to the basement of a very shady and a distant bar. I know I shouldn't be here, and I know I should be running for the hills, but I'm addicted to the danger, I'm addicted to the variety of the thrills that only a man with a heart as cold as yours can ever really provide me. We're dancing in a space that's far too small for the both of our giant egos. I'm watching the way the light hits your face and the way your dark hair flows. You're a beautiful disaster, and I'm the one who's holding on for dear life. I'm the girl who'd rather be a victim than to ever be another man's wife. Because at least with you I know that I am feeling something real and raw. My head is thumping with the bass line, and the alcohol is flowing through my veins. I'm losing my grip on the reality, and I'm losing my grip on the heavy range. You're steering us towards a cliff, and I am just leaning back and closing my eyes. I'm ready for the crash, and I'm ready for the beautiful and the blue lights, and the blue lights. As long as I can feel your hand on mine as we go flying over the jagged edge. The world is a blur of neon lights and the sound of the screeching rubber tires. Whoa. And we're fueled by our very dark and deep desires, yes. There's no room for the logic, and there's no room for the sensible or the right. We're just two shadows burning through the middle of a very long and a cold night, leaving a trail of wreckage and a scent of gin and gasoline in our heavy wake. Tomorrow with a bruise on my heart and a pounding in my head. I wish that I had stayed at home, and I wish that I had stayed in my own bed. But tonight I'm alive, and I'm vibrating with the energy of the coming wreck. I'm wearing your leather jacket, and I got your heavy arms around it. Trade this feeling for all the peace and the quiet in the world. So pour another drink and let's see how much faster this old car can really go. I'm ready for the fire, and I'm ready for the heavy and the final glow. We're gin and gasoline, and we're never gonna be a steady or a quiet light. Just a flash of brilliance before we disappear into the deep and black night. Two beautiful fools who didn't know when to finally and surely put the fire out. into the air, and I'm watching them slowly drift away, thinking about the things I should have had the courage to finally and surely say. But the words got stuck in my throat like a piece of dry and a very stale bread. And now I'm just sitting here with a heavy heart and a very confused and a tired head, sending out smoke signals to a man who has already stopped looking for me. The wallpaper is peeling in the corner, and it's showing the layers of the past. I'm wondering if anything in this world is ever really truly meant to last, or if we're all just transient ghosts passing through a series of very dusty rooms, waiting for the inevitable and the silent and the very heavy and the dark dooms that we build for ourselves out of the bricks of our own many and our petty fears. You used to read my mind like it was a book written in a very large and a bold print, but now you don't even give me a single and a tiny and a very subtle hint of what you're thinking, or where you're going, or who you're spending your time with. Our love has turned into a legend, and it's turned into a very dark and a hollow myth, a story that I tell myself when I am feeling particularly and especially alone. I'm wearing your old sweater, and it still smells like the cedar and the winter rain. It's a comfort and it's a torture, and it's a very physical and a very real pain. I'm wrapped up in the ghost of you, and I am shivering in the heat of the July. I'm looking for a reason, and I'm looking for a way to finally and surely say goodbye. But I'm addicted to the scent of you, and I'm addicted to the way you used to feel. The ashtray is overflowing with the remnants of my many and my nervous habits. I'm feeling like a hunted animal, and I'm feeling like one of those poor little rabbits caught in the headlights of a future that doesn't have a single place for me to stay. I'm watching the smoke signals dissolve into a shade of a very dirty and a pale gray, realizing that you're never gonna come and rescue me from this very private hell. I'll stay here in the chair until the sun starts to peek through the heavy blinds, looking for the pieces of the piece that a girl like me never ever really finds. I'm a master of the heartbreak, and I'm a master of the very slow and the quiet grief. I'm looking for a bit of mercy, and I'm looking for a bit of a very short relief. But the smoke is getting thicker, and the fire is getting lower and lower in the grate. So let the signals fade, and let the silence take over the rest of this empty house. I'm gonna be as quiet, and I'm gonna be as still as a very small and a frightened mouse, until I find the strength to stand up and to walk out through the heavy wooden door, and to decide that I don't wanna be a victim of your heavy and your cold love anymore, leaving nothing behind but a lingering scent of smoke and a very deep and a dark regret. lipstick on the filter. There's a ring of red lipstick around the filter of every cigarette in the tray, a mark of all the hours that I've spent waiting for you to find your way back to the apartment and back to the girl you promised you would always love. But you're as unreachable as the stars that are shining so very far above. And I'm just a mess of smudged eyeliner and a heart that is beating too fast. I'm pacing the floorboards and I'm listening to the sound of the neighbor's TV, wondering if you're ever gonna come back and if you're ever gonna really see the way I've fallen apart since you decided that you needed a bit of a space. I'm looking at the photos of us and I'm looking at your very handsome and your cruel face, and I'm wondering how I could have been so blind to the truth of what you are. Oh, you're a silver-tongued devil with a voice that sounds like a very expensive cello. You had a way of making me feel so very soft and so very warm and so very mellow. But it was all just a performance, and it was all just a very clever and a dark act. You were looking for a girl who would sign a very one-sided and a very legal contract, to give you everything she had and to ask for absolutely nothing in return. The ice is melting in my glass and the drink is getting watery and very weak. I'm trying to find the words, but I am finding it so very difficult to even speak. The silence is a physical weight that is pressing down upon my tired and aching chest. I'm feeling like a failure, and I'm feeling like I failed a very important and a hard test, the one where you have to prove that you're worthy of a man who doesn't want you. Off my mouth with a dirty rag. I'm feeling like a piece of luggage that's been left behind with a very heavy tag, unclaimed and unwanted and destined for the lost and the found department. I'm trapped inside the four walls of this very small and this very lonely apartment, waiting for a miracle that I know in my heart is never ever gonna actually happen. The lowest and the darkest valley. I'm remembering the way we used to kiss in the shadows of the very narrow alley, behind the jazz club where the music was loud and the world was so very far away. But now the music has stopped and there is absolutely nothing left for me to say, except for a prayer that I might find the strength to finally and surely let you go. Oh, here's to the lipstick on the filters, and here's to the gin and the heavy tears, to the wasted months and to the wasted and the very long and the very lonely years. I'm gonna wash my face and I'm gonna put on a new and a much brighter shade of red. I'm gonna get out of this house, I'm gonna get out of my own very confused head, and I'm gonna find a man who doesn't leave me waiting in the dark for his return. in turmoil. I'm brewing a pot of tea, but I'm forgetting to put the leaves inside the water. I'm a girl who's lost her way, and I am a girl who is a mother's tragic daughter. Always looking for the love and all the wrong in all the very dangerous places. Always looking for a savior in a crowd of very cold and very indifferent faces. And always ending up with a heart that is broken into 1,000 little pieces. The steam is rising up and it's blurring the vision of my very tired and my red eyes. I'm sick of all the excuses, and I'm sick of all the sweetie pleas and all the lies. You were a storm that blew through my life and left everything in a total wreck. I got the scars on my soul, and I got the heavy weight of you around my neck. And I'm wondering how I'm ever gonna find the energy to finally and surely move on. The kitchen is cold and the linoleum is peeling up around the edges of the floor. I'm staring at the handle of the heavy and the very locked and the bolted front door, wishing that I had the courage to turn the key and to walk out into the bright light. But I'm a creature of the shadows, and I'm a creature of the very long and the black night. And I'm afraid of what I'll see when the sun finally and surely begins to shine on me. You had a way of making me feel like I was the only girl in the entire wide world, before you pulled the rug out from under me and left me lying there all curled in a ball of misery, in a ball of very deep and a very dark and a very heavy pain. I'm listening to the rhythm of the wind, and I'm listening to the rhythm of the rain. And I'm wondering if I'll ever feel the warmth of a real and a true love ever again. I'm pouring the hot water into the cup, and I'm watching the steam begin to rise. I'm seeing the reflection of a girl who has finally and surely opened up her eyes to the reality of a relationship that was nothing but a very long and a hard struggle. A constant battle to stay afloat, and a constant and a very desperate kind of juggle between the need to be loved and the need to be treated with a bit of a basic respect. The cup, and I'm watching the steam begin to rise. I'm seeing the reflection of a girl who has finally and surely opened up her eyes to the reality of a relationship that was nothing but a very long and a hard struggle. A constant battle to stay afloat, and a constant and a very desperate kind of juggle. Between the need to be loved and the need to be treated with a bit of a basic respect. Tea is bitter and it's a perfect match for the way that I am feeling inside. I got nowhere left to run, and I got absolutely nowhere left for me to hide from the truth that you never really loved me, and that you never really even cared. You were just a man who was looking for a girl who was lonely and who was scared. And I was the perfect target for your very clever and your very cruel and your dark game. And I'll sit here in the turmoil of my own very messy and my loud mind, until I find a way to leave the memory of your cold and your selfish heart far behind. I'm gonna build a new life, and I'm gonna find a much better and a much truer song to sing, one that doesn't involve you or any other stupid and a very heartbreaking thing. And I'm gonna start by throwing this teapot against the kitchen wall and watching it break. The bartender's wiping down the counter, and he's giving me a very pitying look. I'm the last one left in the bar, and I'm reading from a very old and a dusty book, a collection of poems about love and about the very deep and the dark and the heavy loss, calculating the interest and calculating the total and the very stinging and the high cost of a heart that was given too freely to a man who didn't know how to even hold it. I've had my last drink, and I've had my last dance, and I've had my last long and bitter cry. I'm ready to look the truth in the eye, and I'm ready to finally and surely say goodbye to the ghost of a relationship that has been dead and buried for a very long time, to the rhythm of your voice and to the rhythm of your very clever and your dark rhyme that kept me trapped in a cycle of a very deep and a very dark and a very heavy despair. You were a beautiful melody that turned into a very discordant and a very loud noise. You were a man who never grew up, and you were a man who preferred his little toys to the reality of a woman who was willing to give him everything that she ever had. It's a tragedy and it's a comedy, and it's a very strange and a very dark and a very sad story of a girl who loved a man who was never really and truly even there at all. I'm putting on my coat and I'm wrapping my scarf around my very cold and my aching neck. I'm walking out of the rooms, and I'm walking out of the total in a very heavy wreck of a life that I built around a man who was nothing but a shadow and a very cold ghost. I'm moving on to a different city, and I'm moving on to a different and a much sunnier coast, where the air is clear and where the water is a very bright and a very beautiful and a deep blue. The street lights are humming and the city is starting to wake up for the coming day. I'm finding my own rhythm, and I'm finding my own and a much truer and a better way to navigate the world without having to lean on a man who is always falling down. I'm taking off the heavy and the rusted and the very crooked and the very dark crown that I wore for so long as the queen of the broken hearted and the queen of the very sad. I remember the jazz and I remember the gin, and I'll remember the way you used to smile, but I'll also remember the way you treated me and the way you were so very cruel and vile. And I'll use those memories as a shield to protect me from ever falling for a man like you. I'm starting over and I'm starting fresh, and I'm starting something that is finally and truly new. And I'm doing it all with a voice that is stronger and a heart that is finally and surely healing. So this is the last round, and this is the final, and the very last and the very closing call. I'm standing up tall and I'm walking away, and I'm not gonna stumble or I'm not gonna fall. I'm a girl with a future, and I'm a girl with a very bright and a very beautiful and a golden soul. I'm taking back the power, and I'm taking back the final and the total and the full control of a life that is finally and truly and beautifully and entirely and complete.